Twist of Fate update Friday 7 January 2022. For more updates please don't forget to subscribe. Ranbir asks Prachi to say something and says his family is getting him married to Riya. He says if I had married you that day then you would have been my wife. He says if you don't say anything. Prachi asks him not to call her again. Aryan asks what did she say? Riya hears them. Ranbir says she was silent and didn't say anything. He regrets not marrying her. Riya hears him and is shocked. Ranbir says I will marry Prachi this time under any circumstances. Prachi cries. Rabbit Care Care plays. Tanu tells Aaliyah that the guy is nice, she will make the marriage as the event and asks her to take appointment from her, as she will be busy. Aaliyah asks her to be excited, but not to forget about her mission. Pragya hears them. Mitali asks if she is hearing them. Pragya says she is a Haryanvi girl and doesn't steal things. She scolds Pragya for not respecting Abhi and calling him an animal. She then threatens to tell outside about Abhi's mental health. Aaliyah asks Mitali to talk nicely with her and asks Pragya to go to Abhi's room and take the rod also. Pragya says it is not needed, he will not attack me. Tanu says to keep it for safety purposes. Aaliyah asks Tanu to go with Gayatri. Riya drives the car and comes to Prachi's house. Pragya comes to Abhi's room fast. Mitali asks why did you come fast? Pragya says she heard him shouting. Mitali says he will say when did I shout? Pragya thinks if she is keeping eye on me. Riya comes inside the house and asks Prachi to come out. She throws the things, calls her backstabber, etc. and shouts asking her to come out. Prachi comes out and asks why are you shouting? Riya says, what are you doing, how can you do that? Prachi asks what did I do? Riya tells that she is angry at her for trusting her and says thank God, our upbringing has not happened together else my childhood would have been ruined. She says you call yourself my sister, but Prachi asks her to tell clearly. Riya says you know everything and wants me to die and shout. Prachi says I will go. Riya stops her and says you had planned to marry Ranbir that day. Prachi asks her to listen to her fully. Riya refuses to listen to her. She reminds their deal and asks why she didn't think of their promise. She says we both have promised each other. She says I fought with Meera, Aliya and others for uniting mom and dad. She says Booji locked me in the room, tells that she came out with much difficulty to stop the marriage. She says when I was trying to get mom and dad married, you were planning to marry Ranbir. In the temple, Prachi asks her to listen. Riya tells that when her marriage talks started, she came to know about their plan. She says I thought Ranbir and my destiny will match, but I didn't know that you have matched your destiny with him. Prachi swears on her mother that she didn't know anything. Riya asks how you didn't know what is in Ranbir's heart. Prachi says she doesn't know. Riya says you have hurt me so much, and whatever I need to talk, I will talk to your mom. Prachi recalls and a FB is shown. Prachi asks Pragya where did she go. Pragya says there was a fancy dress competition in school. Prachi says this is servant's clothes. Pragya says I am doing servant's job for your papa. She says you know your Aliya Bua well and says she will not go me near him. Prachi asks what happened. Pragya says she will tell her everything later. She cries and says I need him a lot. She asks her not to tell anyone and tells that only Sarita Bayan knew. Don't tell Shahana and Ranbir. FB ends. Riya calls Pragya as Mrs. Pragya Mehra and asks her to come out. She says I will question her. Why did she leave my dad alone in the hospital for dying? Prachi thinks she has to control her anger for Ma. Pragya comes to Abhi's room. Abi runs to the bathroom and asks her to go. She comes near the bathroom door. Abi says, I know you will not beat me. You are not Aaliyah. Pragya thinks she can't show her face to him. She asks if he is scared of this stick, rod. Abi says yes and gets more afraid. Pragya says, I want you to get out of your fear, and asks him not to be afraid of people who don't love him. She says Aaliyah should have made you understand with love, but she asks him to snatch the stick from someone who beats him. Abi says, please don't beat me.